President Trump taking action to clear the names of 3 American service members, granting clemency for 2 of the Army officers, Major Matt Goldstein and First Lieutenant Clint Lorance, along with restoring the rank of Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher. First Lieutenant Clint Lorance released from a military prison. There's video right there. He's thanking President Trump. He was released on Friday night, 6 years after being found guilty of murder over the death of 3 Taliban fighters. Florida Congressman and former Green Beret himself, Michael Waltz, has been monitoring that case closely, and he joins us now. Congressman, thanks for being here this morning.
Thanks, Pete.
Your reaction to the president's actions on Friday night?
Well, first I want to say that this is absolutely 100% within the president's right to do as commander-in-chief. When it comes to the United States military, he is the ultimate boss, and he can make this call. I have had questions and concerns about First Lieutenant Lorance's case in particular for some time, sent a letter along with other congressmen and women to the president asking him to look into it and asking him to look in this case, a pardon. Here's a problem, Pete, what we have to avoid and what we cannot do. I'm not saying that he did everything perfectly. I'm not saying that he didn't make mistakes, but war is ugly, war is messy. Often you find yourself in gray zones under a lot of pressure, having to make instant, snap decisions of shoot or no shoot. I've had to make those own decisions. I'm sure you've had to as well in combat. And what we can't do is fall into this kind of pattern where we have people back in Washington, D.C., a bunch of lawyers Monday morning quarterbacking these decisions from 5,000 miles away. And in this case, he was accused of murder. You know, he had to make a snap decision with his platoon on whether to shoot or not shoot, and he may have made a mistake or not made a mistake, but to be accused of murder and to be put in prison for 20 years from a combat zone decision, I thought was kind of beyond the pale.
Congressman, very well said from someone who understands it and has been there himself. Here's a statement from the Pentagon after the president issued those pardons and restored Eddie Gallagher's rank. They said this: if the Department of Defense has confidence in the military justice system, the president is part of the military justice system as the commander-in-chief and has the authority to weigh in on matters of this nature. Now, the Pentagon pushed back very hard. You know this, Congressman. They didn't want the president to take this action. They cite good order and discipline and confidence in the military justice system. What did the president see that the Pentagon is missing here?
Well, you know, one of the things I want to point out, though, is the Pentagon pushed back. The president made his decision, and the Pentagon is saluting and moving out and following those orders. Not like you see a lot of times in Washington where they start working behind the scenes or trying to undercut. This Pentagon is well led, and they're going to move out and they're going to execute. Look, the system doesn't always get it right. It certainly wasn't getting it right in the case of Chief Eddie Gallagher, where you had a lot of prosecutorial misconduct. And I think what the president sees is we train these guys to go overseas and do the nation's business, and they find themselves in these gray zone situations that are very murky, that are very difficult to work out. Look, if there is a clear war crime, I mean, years ago we had a Staff Sergeant Bales walk into a village and execute civilians, he'll be in jail the rest of his life. Sure. But in these gray area situations, the president's going to give these men the benefit of the doubt, as he did here.
Representative Michael Waltz, thank you for your interest in Clint's case and for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.